I know. Then let's go to the last church in the book of Revelation chapter 3 verse 15. This is what he tells the church. That is Laodicea. I know. So to all the churches, what does he tell them? It means that whatever you are doing, God sees it. Man may not see it, but God has seen it. That is why there is judgment. Now, this message is not even more about the sins you commit. That one you know that God knows. But I'm talking about the things you do for God. Because when God was talking to the churches, he was talking to them about the fact that you did this. The first he said, you brought out false prophets. I know your works. And he said in another one, he says that I know that you did this and this and this for the kingdom, for you help saints. I know your works. Then in another place, he says you did this and this and this for the kingdom. I know your works. God knows everything we are doing. You see, sometimes when we are doing something for God, we want people to see it so that we'll be appreciated. But it's better for God to see and no man knows about it than for man to see it and God does not appreciate it. So I'm here to tell you that whatever you are going to do for God from today, he knows it. The little things you do for even the church that nobody sees it, God knows your work. And sometimes when we come to church, it is difficult for us to participate and get involved in the things of God because man has restricted us from serving God. The attitude of your neighbor can prevent you from doing things for God. Isn't it true? Sometimes the behavior of other people can make you feel cold in church. Am I talking to the church or I'm talking to you? Because sometimes you come to church and the behavior of your friend, sometimes backbiting is in the church. Kokonsa is in the church. Envy and jealousy is in the church. Fighting is in the church. Kokonsa. See, they talk about each other. This one will say the dress you are wearing is not nice. This one will say that why are you wearing this? I get me. It is normal. Wherever human beings gather, it will be there. And the church is not a gathering of angels. It is a gathering of human beings. Tell your neighbor, you are a human being. I'm also a human being. Tell your neighbor, there is something you do I don't like, and there is something I do that you also don't like. I hear. But then when we come to church, we expect to see perfection on every side. God is saying, I know your works. And the judgment of God is greater than the judgment of man. The opinion of man cannot determine God's judgment over your life. What man thinks about you cannot determine God's blessings over your life. What man says cannot limit the God factor in your life. The fact that man is saying, even Pastor Kingsley can look at Joyce and say, you Joyce, I don't like you. The way you come to church and then you are sitting here every day, I don't like you. It will still not stop God from blessing Joyce. Listen, man no be God. Tell your neighbor, man no be God. The opinion of man can never restrict God's blessings over your life. Even me as a pastor, I don't have the potential to curse who God has blessed. I can pronounce all the curses in this life upon your life. If God chooses to bless you, he will bless you. So God is telling you, I know your works. You want to take pictures? Okay, take pictures. I know your works. Yes. See how he made me also 10. Aidan. Wakanda for life. So God is saying, I know your works. Sometimes you go to church and you are doing everything possible to be a good Christian, but people can never see it. Let me tell you, People will never see the sacrifices you make just to sit here every Sunday. You have no idea. You have no idea what your neighbor has to go through before he or she can come to church today. Some of them are even sitting here on an empty stomach. That is why when we come to church, and then instead of being nice to people, you are behaving. Listen, I'm saying this message, I'm preaching this message as a prophecy for this church because of what is about to happen. Because very soon the church is going to explode. I don't want anybody to feel so big over anybody that will come to church. That someone will come to church and you feel so big and entitled. The usher will feel so big and talk to people anyhow, just because someone out of his own will has chosen to come to Tefillah. The person could have chosen 1,000 churches. You have to be careful. God is saying, I know your works. What are you doing for God? Forget about what people will say. Forget about what people will think about you. God does not have to consult the opinion of others before blessing you. He is God all by himself. If your pastor cannot determine whether God should bless you or not, the only person who has the only right to determine whether you should be blessed or not is God. Even the devil cannot determine who should be blessed. You know, sometimes per our human judgment, we look at this person, and we think this person does not deserve blessings. But God is also saying, I know the person's works. I know what the person is doing in secret. I know what the person goes through. I know the heart of the person. You are not the one that created the person. I created the person. I know your works. Tell your neighbor, God knows your works. He says, I know thy works. If I'm being a correct pastor, God knows it. It is not for you to judge. As for this, the man of God is not this, is not this, is not this, is not this. No. Now they've come and said the most anointed pastor. Who raised the most anointed pastor? How did you come up with that anointing? Maybe if I put you in domain, maybe you'll not survive for a week. For somebody just coming to church alone is enough survival. For some of us, waking up early in the morning and seeing the sunshine is enough survival, because we could have taken away our lives. For some of you, even the ability to smile is overcoming a huge enemy in your life, because the enemy has thrown weapons at you, he has thrown gadgets at you, he has thrown things at you, broken heart and things, disappointment and things, but yet you still choose to smile. Even in the midst of the problem, you are more than a conqueror. Even in the midst of the pain, you can still come around and shake people's hand. God is saying, I know your works. And you see, in the kingdom matters, it is not what the big things you do that determines your importance to God. It is what you overcome and what you have been through and what you have survived, and the ability to overcome all this and still look up to heaven and still say, even though you slay me, yet will I still praise you. Even though all these things are going on, I have still not changed my God. You had the opportunity to change your God, but you still maintain your God. God is saying, I know your works. I know your works. I know what you are going through. Don't let the opinion of others stop you from doing more for God. Keep on. The truth of the matter is that no matter how much Isaac Asama tries to impress Pastor Kingsley, the more he tries, the more he fails. Some of you are going to get married and you realize that the more you try to even impress your spouse, the more you fail. The impression of others has led many people into depression. The impression of others has led many people into depression. What people are thinking about me, whether I'm looking okay, whether I'm okay, whether this, whether my buttocks is okay, whether I have waist, whether my hip is okay. Hey, my hip now say small. Hey, this, do I have broad shoulder? Is my breast okay? Is my face okay? Is my color okay? Is my height okay? Is my walking okay? Because of that, when people are even walking, because of what they think people are thinking about them that they don't even think, they walk to please people that are not seeing them. Some of you are buying things to impress people that you don't need. I know your works. Is someone in church? Tell about 5 people, I know your works. God knows you. Is someone being blessed already? I think I can close. So when you come to church or you are doing something for God, do it well. You are not doing it well, cry. Do it from the depth of your heart. Do it as unto God. As they are sitting down there doing whatever, computer, whatever, they have to do it well. Because God knows your works. When you come to church and you are part of the choir and they say come and sing, don't come and just do whatever. Sing well. Just come. When they say this, come well. If you be a Christian, be a correct Christian. Do it well because God knows your works. The choir madam will not judge you. She herself will not even be around to see whether you came early or not. Someone says something and it's very important. He said, we are buying things we don't need to impress people that don't see it. We are buying things we don't need to impress people that will not see it. The thing people are seeing, they're dressing, you are dressing. Listen, if you like wear the same trousers for the next 10 years, nobody sees it. People only care about you when they want something from you. Isn't it? People only care about you when they need something from you. So why don't you live your life to please God? Is someone being blessed already? God says, I know your works. I know. God says, I know what Chief Shepherd has to go through every Sunday just to come to church. Yeah. Go and work. What time did you go to work yesterday? 7 p.m. and closed this morning at 7 a.m. and came for training, went home, dressed back. But as he came to church, hey, Chief Shepherd, don't worry, God knows your works. You see, that is how it happens. Because I'm a pastor, I know his schedule, isn't it? So when everybody is talking and say, Chief Shepherd, and Reverend, talk to that your Chief Shepherd. He likes coming to church too late. And you're fine. Oh no, yeah, you the artist software china about sorry or basso no about no at a yibia peck is not nanti by heart this I saw no there. Do you know what when you talk, I won't mind you. Do you know why? Because your opinion about me, about him, is not what will change my perception about him. Because I know his works. Is someone in church? So in the same way as you keep coming to church, you keep doing whatever for God. The opinion of others cannot change God's perception about you. So God knows. God knows. So whatever you are doing, do it well. As you are doing whatever, you've put nice images there. Who is that on the floor? We don't know him, but God knows him. God is saying, I know your works. I know your works. I know your works. Sometimes it's time for offering, and all you have on your body is maybe 20 Ghana or 50 Ghana, and you remove it and put it down. But after church, you want everybody to know that it was your land. Forget it. And all the pastor says, God bless you. Listen, you can buy a land, 10 acres of land for the church. And you come and say, Reverend, I bought 10 acres of land for the church. And then this is a little token to show my appreciation to the church. All I'll say is, God bless you. Thank you very much. So for the ultimate God bless you. When to me and who are you? It is God that will bless you. Never seek reward from man. The most dangerous entity in life to seek reward from is man. Because when man is rewarding you, they will always remind you in future of the good they have done to you. Never ever seek reward from man. Always seek reward from God. God is the rewarder, not man. He says, I know your works. You know that God knows your works. God knows the things you have to go through to come and sit here every Sunday after Sunday. Someone may look at you and say, why is this womanizer sitting in the church? I get it. He's not a womanizer by the grace of God. Somebody, you don't know what he's going through. That is why before you judge someone, walk a mile in their shoes. Before you judge Desmond, wear his shoes for 1 mile, walk inside and know what he's going through. He himself is smiling. He doesn't even want to walk in his own shoes. He says, I know your works. Church, God knows your works. He knows your works. He knows the things you are doing. It will shock you. In Acts chapter 9, there was a certain lady that died. And when she died, the Bible says they went to tell Peter. In Acts chapter 9, I think from verse 36 downwards. The lady is called Tabitha. They went to tell Peter. That's where you get the word Tabitha Kumi. They went to tell Peter. And you see, in the Bible, most often, all the people that, who is that old man behind the picture? Shameful. I know that works. In the Bible, almost everybody that died that was resurrected on the account of the things they did for God. Almost. Yeah, they'll come and say, this person is worthy. He has done 1, 2, 3 for God. So this and this and this. Or this person is sick. They'll say, look at it. Let's read it. Acts chapter 9. Let's read from verse 35 downwards. Let's go to 36. Now there was found in Joppa a certain disciple named Tabitha, which by interpretation is called Dorcas. This woman was full of good works, not full of holiness. Good works, not full of money. Works. This woman was full of what? Good works and alms deeds. Or child here. Why you same stiff to say a Roman statue? Hit your neighbor by that. Say, let your hand give some. Every time you are too stiff. This woman was full of what? Good works and alms deeds which she did. Look at it. Oh. Verse 37. Verse 37. And it came to pass in those days that she was sick and died. Whom when they had washed, they laid her in the upper chamber. Someone who was good work, who was doing good things, had died. But do you know what? If she was an ordinary person that had died, they would have just gone to bury her. But because of what she was doing, they want to see Peter and tell Peter that. Go to verse 38. When you die today, who are those who surround you? What will they be saying about you? God is saying, I know your works. I know the things you are doing. I know the things you are doing in secret. And amazingly, the church has come to a place where we think once you do it openly, you are accepted by God. God is also saying that I know the things you are doing. You don't have to come out and publicize it or come out and let the whole world hear about it. But I still know what you are doing, even in secret. He is a God who sees what you are doing in secret and rewards you openly. Every open reward is connected to a secret action that is done. You don't like the message I'm preaching, I can guess. And for as much as leader or leader, whatever, based on the school you attended, was nigh to Joppa, and the disciples had heard that Peter was there, they sent unto him 2 men, desiring him that he would not delay to come to them. Why? Because the lady who has died was someone who was helping. She has works. One day when you die, your works will speak for you. And woe unto you if you have no works. We are saved by grace. But in grace, that grace should push you to do something for God. If God has saved you, look at you. You should have been in hell. You should have died. Some of you should have died. The things you have done, some of you, you don't qualify to even live for a second. God has still clothed you. You can even walk on both legs. Push your hand and let me see. Everybody push it. You can even push your hand. How are you going to say thank you to God for all the things He has done for you? How are you going to say thanks? Look at this boy. Wearing blue jacket with blue tie. And we're having beard gang. Look at this one too. This color is what? Wine. Look at him. He's having a rich man's beard with white gray hair inside. Look at them. They should not even be alive. How can they say thank you to God? You owe God your life. You owe God your life. So when God says, I know your works, it's not something that He's going to judge you, or it's like you are going to whatever. He's talking about the fact that, based on the things you are even doing for Him, He can calculate and see. Listen, God knows your potential. I don't know your potential. You can give me an excuse of not doing 1, 2, 3, but God knows your potential. He knows the things you are capable of doing, because it was God that invested potential in you, not me. It was God that gave gifts in you, not me. He knows your potential. He knows who and who you can help. I'm almost closing, don't worry. Then Peter arose and went with them. When he was come, they brought him into the upper chamber, and all the widows stood by him, weeping and doing what? Showing the coat and the garment which Dorcas made. Dorcas used to make garments for the saints. Oh, then why? Huh? When you die, can the angels come and show God the things you have been doing? Take me to Revelation chapter 14 verse 13. There is a movie, I've forgotten the title. It's a Christian movie. It was done by Mount Zion. It's a very good channel. All of you should go and stop watching all these unnecessary movies. It's one of the good channels to watch correct Christian movies. Mount Zion. Go and look for their movies and start watching. There was a guy who was a driver, a man who was a driver. And many years ago, he drove a group of people. He didn't know them. None of the guys were armed robbers. And they went to kill a man. And when they killed a man, they ran away. And he, out of compassion, was standing by the dead body. And the man was having a little girl. So the little girl came and saw the driver standing by his father's corpse. So the girl thought that it was this guy who killed my father. No, he was just a driver. So many years on, this girl grew up, became a rich girl, was established and everything, and was now looking for the person who killed the father. He remembered the name and everything, paid policemen, all kinds of things, to just search out and get the father, and get the man. Then this man also had grown and had also given birth to a son, and the son had also become very established. And unknown to the girl, the guy is the one who was come to buy her firm, because the firm was collapsing. Later on, these stories, they end up getting married. We know about that. Now, what I want you to pay attention to is this. At the point, this man who was driving the armed robbers, was now teaching kids Bible stories. So later, when it was found out, and then they took him to prison, you know what happened? All the kids came to the prison and they were singing the songs the man had been teaching them. And the police officer looked at the thing and said, if this man can influence these kids to the point they can convince their parents and come to prison where their father is, then the man must be a good man. Who have you influenced? In the day of adversity, who will speak for you? who will stand and point a finger at the past and point at what you have done for them and speak good for you. God is saying, I know your works. It's a sober reflection. Can I close? I can't close. Can you all read together? And I heard a voice saying, blessed are they are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Yea, say the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors and their works. Your works will follow you, whether good or bad. Some of you, it is air that will follow you. Yeah. What is following you? Ask your neighbor, what is following you when you die? Yeah. You see, sometimes when we come to church and we say we should all come together and do 1, 2, 3, we think the pastor is trying to take your money. Listen, if pastor is taking your money, that work will follow him. Listen, when you come to church, let me tell you a principle about God. Let me tell you a principle about God. Don't let what people think about the church affect the way you do things in church. Because sometimes they say don't pay tithes. The people who are not paying tithes are the people complaining about tithes. But those who are paying the tithe do not complain about the tithe. If you really pay tithes, you don't complain about tithes. Those who are not paying are the ones complaining. Coming to realize, if you see people who are saying, yeah, tithes cry, and then it means they themselves don't pay. They just want an excuse. But those who are paying don't have a problem, isn't it? Do you have a problem? Those of you who pay, some of you don't pay. We know it's not. Don't do it. Some of you don't even pay 1%. And tithing is not something that is hundio. You are giving God 10% of your money to say thank you. He gave you 100%. Give me back 10% is a problem. What if he didn't give you the 100%? I'm just saying, so just honor me. Pinocchio, I gave you what? This puppet with everything inside. And I say that as part of you showing appreciation to me, this puppet I've given you, give me only the Bible. Pinocchio is saying that it's too much. God is saying, I know your works. I know your works. God knows all of us our works. Yeah, that is why me, I don't care about whatever you do or what people say. Forget about it. Yeah. Someone will come and say, Reverend is an occult, and because of that, I'll do a full message. 21 reasons why Reverend Mark is not an occult. Too much energy. I've heard it several times and it won't stop. Yeah, it won't stop. It won't stop. Do you know why? Because sometimes when ordinary men are doing extraordinary things, it makes you wonder what they carry that makes them do those actions. So you can't seem to understand how people will somehow devote his whole life and say, I am following Reverend. That's why they drew. Reverend crying, he just said, just one. He said he won't do anything apart from Reverend. If Reverend doesn't say, he won't do. If Reverend doesn't say, he will never. There is a power you carry. When you carry it, God will cause men to hear you. God will say, I know, a time will come, you see, they will do, you wait and see. I'm giving you only 6-7 months. You see that they will do a full article. Someone will come with a video why they know that I am occult. I get me. And some of you believe it. And I encourage you to believe. Those who believe, continue to believe it. Because it shows what is inside your heart. And I don't come out and now explain myself why I'm occult. I've gone for a convention. One of the reasons I don't go and preach in churches is this. I've gone for a convention, 5-day convention. As I was preaching and the Holy Spirit was moving, not knowing that the pastor, the founder of the church had assigned people at the gate and they were taking video. The man himself was not in Ghana, he was abroad. And then he had put some people at the back there and they were taking video. And me too, I didn't know. I was preaching, people were falling under the power of God. I was preaching, and then someone would come and drop a tajik, one full sack, and say, thank you for healing. Because the woman had had this severe knee pain for many, many years. For almost 28 years, an old woman. So she came the following day with, I guess you do remember, she came with a tajik. And you see, that day we went, the 5 days we were eating. So they couldn't understand how come he has come. They don't see you doing any wild fasting. So that's what Jesus said. John the Baptist came. He was eating wild locusts and honey, looking slim like something. This one has come. He's eating gobe. He's eating this. But yet miracles are. So they couldn't understand. Then they went to play the video and they were saying, you see the way he threw his hand. And then people were falling at the back. It was an energy in his hand. It's like the thing is there. Yeah. The person called another lady who was married to a guy who was in the church. Then, for almost 2 hours, they were talking about me. How I am occult, the places I've gone to, the initiations I've done. I said, hey, people know me more than myself. Yeah. But do you know what? Paul said none of these things move me. Because God is the one who called me. There is no man of God you not hear a story about. There is no man of God who works in whatever that, I mean, people say TB Joshua is false. TB Joshua is, whether he's false or not, he's dead and gone. Somehow come, we saw him, we were even in his whatever and all that. He's occult, he's this, he's this, he's this, he's this. People come, Pastor Chris, he's this, he's this, he's this, he's this. So at the point they say he's using whatever. Well, God is saying, I know your works. It's not about what people think. Oh. If you are going to be affected by what people think, then you are not yet a Christian. Your aim must be to please God. Anything you are doing, ask yourself this question: is it pleasing to God? Is God pleased with my action? If God is not pleased, then my aim must be to please him, because I know your works. Is someone in church? Yeah, so those behind the machine, they're sitting down there. If there is more you can do and you are not doing, God says, I know your works. And that is the scary part, because you see, we may applaud you, but God knows your potentials and he knows you can do more. But because people are applauding you, you think it is enough. If, let's say, I come, if this man, let's say this man can do 100, but he's giving us a 40, and because his 40 is the highest, we think that, yeah, he's doing so. He's even happy about the fact that he's the highest. You may be the highest, but that may not be your best. And God does not look at your position amongst others. He looks at your potential. So if God has deposited in Isaac Asamoah the gift of administration, he has given him the gift of singing, he has given him the gift of what? Mobilization. And what? Playing drums. Accounting. Bringing university souls, going to tertiary institutions, talking to them, and bringing them. And God has given maybe 10, and he's operating fully with 3. Just because you are doing better than others does not mean God is pleased with you. And that is a mistake we do, because we compare our potential, we compare our results with others, forgetting that others are operating within their potential. And your potential may be 10, and yet you are using only 2. So God says, I know your works. On judgment day I will judge you. So don't be surprised if, let's say, come, and maybe the gift of pastoral gift, and this one maybe all he can do is to sing and fix some few wires, and then he's okay. And in the sight of God, he's doing everything possible to be effective with his singing and then keep up with speakers and everything. I'm just giving an example. I'm not saying that is what is happening. On Judgment Day, in the church, Isaac Asamoah may be doing more than Desmond, but in heaven, God will give you a better reward than him. God does not reward based on popularity. You can be the most popular man of God, but yet in heaven, you are not recognized. That's the scary part about following God. So if you know your potential and you yourself, you know you are under functioning, better wake up. So the two of them, we don't know. So it may be that, oh, when we look at it, this one is better dressed than this one. So this one is more serious than this one. But maybe God knows the heart. God knows what he's going through. God knows his potential. God knows what he has to go through just to even get this shirt he's wearing. Are you getting me? But of course, as a leader, I'll be like, you see, that's why I've seen the way Ike is dressed, and I'll blast him. I have to blast you because I mean I'm dealing with human. You are dealing with human beings. You are not dealing with God. Is someone in church? Yeah. And God is saying, I know your works. You see the letters that were written to the 7 churches. You see how God outlined the things they were doing that nobody knew. That's how it's going to happen on Judgment Day. I said, I know your works. If maybe, he was meeting people in his house and talking against the church, God will now tell you, you see the times you call this person, you call that, and you talk against the church, you do this and this and this and this. I know your works. Then the person rather who was maybe defending the church that we didn't know, God will come and say, I remember you are defending you did this in my name, you did this. I know your works. And God is going to reward each one of us based on the things we are doing. Man may not see it, but God has seen it. Is someone in church? It's time to think about your future and you think about your life. You see, we are in a generation where we are into likes. And into what? What are the other follow? You put a picture there, 200 people like, you think, yeah, listen, hey, don't let social media determine your place in hell. Because some of you, the picture you put there, you know that there is a problem with it. But everybody say, oh, so nice, so cute, oh, powerful, adorable. I didn't have a because adorable. But do you have genuine friends who can look into your face and say, this thing you are doing, I think is not nice? Woe unto you if everybody is speaking well of you. Woe unto you. Don't ever entertain good things only from people around you. If everybody is speaking only good things about you, listen, if you like, to test the loyalty of your friends, okay, intentionally do something that you know is bad and see if they will tell you. If they don't tell you, that you know that you are dealing with bad friends, change them. You don't like what I'm saying? Let's close. Let's clap for them. Mary, do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, so you come to church. Someone say, Mary, why you not coming to church nowadays? Oh, you have bokro, who free school by one person, but God knows. God knows. He knows. He knows. Joyce, God knows. When you go and sit down there, you are selling your things. He knows. He knows everything you are doing. He knows. He knows. Vic, he knows. Michael, he knows. Do you know this song? He knows my name. He knows my every thought. He sees each tear that falls and hears me when I call. Are you blessed? I know thy works. We are in a generation where we think that it doesn't matter. It matters. God knows your works. He knows you. He knows you. God relates to you as though you are the only person. I keep saying, If even you are the only person on earth, Jesus would have still come to die for you. So why are you trying to please man? You know, if I was preaching this message in a certain way, I would have said, God knows your ways, you are going to hell, so repent. I don't know what you are doing in secret. God knows your works. It's just a gentle reminder that he knows you. Those times before I got married, I always used to wonder why people who are married will be talking and be holding their ring. But when I married and the thing started tightening me, I now understood why. You see that sometimes you push it so much just to clean that place because the thing is tight to you. Someone say, oh, I'll flex it. You marry, you understand. One time before I got married, I saw someone was married and he had removed his ring. I said, why would you be married and not remove your ring? When I'm married and I realized that the thing sometimes can tie you. So sometimes you have to remove it down. Or sometimes, you are going to wash and everything. You have to remove it. That is when you realize that it's a different story. So there are things that we've never experienced, but we judge because we are seeing it. But till we get there, we will not know what they are going through. That is why it is very, very, very disrespectful on your part to dishonor your father or to dishonor any leader. I had this experience many years ago. I think 3 or 4 years ago. I was driving. I was almost at Atomic. And you know when you are in front, you see what is ahead. So as I was coming, there was this driver who was behind me, and he didn't know what was happening. But there was a lady who was selling whatever, and some of her things had dropped. So we had stopped for her, and a little girl was also passing. This guy kept on honking, beep, 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 beep. So after the girl picked the things and I left, some of the things were also there. Because it was a moving traffic, I moved for it small. Then he came to fill my space. Then when he came to fill my space, I think the girl didn't finish collecting the thing. Then she came and she started collecting the thing. Then someone behind him also started blowing the horn. Beep, beep. Then he got angry. Sometimes you don't know what leadership goes through. Why would they close early? Why would they do this? Why would they do this? Why would they do this? Don't worry, you'll get there. It's just a matter of time. One day you'll be a leader. One day you'll be a mother. Have you seen how when mothers are holding their babies and maybe they are trying to do things and they leave them and they just keep quiet? Now I'll be like, I don't know, son, don't worry. It's just a matter of time. When they worry you are at a point, you just if you tell them, hey, climb, break everything. That is when you realize that you can't be chasing children up and down every day. Sometimes you just have to keep quiet and be watching them. All you do, you just hope and pray that they don't hurt themselves. That is all. When you buy your TV and then your child takes metal and faces here and then throws the metal and cracks your TV, nobody will tell you that don't buy TV. So when you come to people who are married and they have kids and you don't see certain things, and I say, and I say, that is when you realize that you sweep 3 times and then 10 times they will destroy it for you. You see the writing on the wall. You need Daniel to interpret what they have written on the wall. And I then I'm going to mean painting. If you know, oh, don't worry, you marry. Is someone in church? God is saying, I know your works. So God knows you. He knows what you are going through. He knows everything. He's your redeemer. He's your father. He's your helper, he's your friend. He's your comforter and he's your refuge. He's your trust. He's everything. God knows everything about you. He knows. He knows your capability. He knows your potentials. He knows your abilities. He knows the things you can do and cannot do. Yeah, that is God. And you see, God placed you in that situation because he knows what you can do. He knows. Why did God bring me to Dome? Why didn't God send me to, let's say, where are they? East Legon, Westland, Tema. You know, at a point, my friend Suarez, his mother was a school teacher in Tema. Like, what's the name of that thing? The headmistress of a school. So he was willing to give me like, the classrooms to use, whatever at Tema. But here am I in Dome. I'm in Dome. Look at the people I came to meet in Dome. Stubborn academy. God knows. Tell your neighbor, God knows. Tell yourself, God knows. He knows my work. And let me say this as I close. Sometimes we do things for people and they never show appreciation. God knows. Amen. Can I shock you? Don't ever do things and expect anything from anybody. In fact, when you do any good work, tell God, let men forget the good works I've done, but may you never forget. It is better for man to forget the good things you have done and God remember it. I'm telling you the truth. Sometimes you want men to remember the things we've done. Forget it. Are you here? Yeah. I'm now remembering who brought this evening chair. I was going to ask, I don't even know who brought these chairs to the church. Yeah. May it be said one day in heaven that you did a lot of good works that no man saw, but God has seen it. And do you know the amazing thing? God is not only waiting for you to get to heaven before he will reward you. Sometimes he will even reward you here on earth before you get to heaven. And sometimes your children will even taste of that reward. Rise to your feet.